It's time to go to work with Kansas City's entrepreneurs, inventors, brand builders, and business icons.
To start a company is probably the hardest thing you could ever do in your life.
Marcia just kept saying, you know, just open the doors, just open the doors, it will come, it will come. And it did.
We have excellent work ethic. We care about what we're doing. We're excited about what we're doing, and we care about one another.
Experience the hands-on fits and starts of innovative business building going on right here, right now, in our community. This is reality TV that works. Startups made in Kansas City.
I love this town. I think Kansas City has the potential to be America's most entrepreneurial city, and we're off to a great start to make that a reality. You know, I'm not from the Midwest. I actually grew up in the Boston area, and I've lived here now for 9 years. And I'm constantly amazed at the work ethic, the integrity, the humility with which we operate here in the Midwest. Look, you can go to the coast and you can get all the big-headed, ego-filled people you want to get. But when you come to Kansas City, what you get is genuineness. You get people who care, you get people who are committed, you get people who work hard, play hard, and also want to help build a wonderful long-term franchise. And so the kind of workforce we have here is a great strength in Kansas City and the Midwest generally, and it's something that each of us should value, treasure, and leverage. You know, I hear from time to time that Kansas City is flyover territory, that the Midwest is just the stopping off point between the real parts of the country, which of course are the West and the East Coast. I don't buy it. I don't buy it one bit. Kansas City has the talent, we have the people, we have the financial resources, we have the beauty, we have all the things you need to start your business here, grow your business here, and prosper. And if you don't believe me, go look at all the successful franchises that have started here over the last 100 years or so and are still in business today. This is a friendly place for business. This is a place you can call home, and it's a place ultimately you can thrive, your business can thrive. We have an extraordinary legacy of entrepreneurs that were homegrown right here in Kansas City. You all know who they are. But you know what? As we think back, we need to also look forward. Today's entrepreneurs are among us. They're in the arts district. They're in sports. They're in entertainment. They're in technology. And I'm just always amazed with the number, the nature, and the character of individuals today that are the new risk takers that will keep Kansas City on the map in the future. Names like Kemper, names like Hall, names like Helzberg put us on the map, but names like Cummings and names like Langford and names that you don't even know and I don't even know yet are out there working in Google Fiberhoods, are out there today building the new Kansas City. And I am so excited that these new entrepreneurs are not only going to put us on the map again, but keep us there forever.
Hello, my name is Steve Pope, owner and CEO of Artifact Product Development. Welcome to our business. We've been in business for 10 years. We're coming up on our 11th year, and we are a full-service product development firm, and it's idea to delivery. We do research, design, engineering, manufacturing, sourcing, management, and prototyping for our customers. We work in a number of different industries, work in consumer products and industrial products and medical products, as well as large commercial devices as well.
I love inventing new things. I like turning concepts into reality to help people to achieve their dreams, and Artifact is a great place to do that. We get a lot of different products, a lot of different ideas. You never know from one day what's going to come in, so it makes it a lot of fun.
Most of the projects I've personally worked on have been ideas that surgeons, doctors have had, and they want to get it developed, but they don't know how to get it developed, and so they come to us to help build out and validate their ideas.
When you have a new idea, there are many things to do to get to the point to where you're in business. In order to truly license and even one day build a business and sell your product, there's really 4 things you need, 4 Ps. You need product, you need price, protection, and proof, which is demand. And without those 4, many, if not most companies are reluctant, I think, to license your product.
With startups and innovators, it's really interesting to see their enthusiasm, to see their train of thought, what they're thinking about, and to have the opportunity of helping them in an area that they're not experienced in.
Carrie here does our marketing, and with many of the new startups that come into our company with an idea for a business or a product, they often don't have the marketing background or information to see where their product fits in the marketplace. And Carrie not only looks at the competition and the marketing element, but also with regards to marketing our company and trying to find new businesses and new startups to work with. So I wanted to talk with you real quick. We've got to get started on this trade show.
We really do. It's coming up February 26th, and you know, we're just like the startups we work with, where it's always a tight time frame and trying to operate with little budget. But I think we have a great opportunity here with this Innovation Health trade show. But
while we're designing and developing product, it's very important to gather costs, estimates for production while we're in this process, because a lot of the features and the components that we select are dependent upon the cost, and if the price isn't right, consumers or individuals won't buy the product. Matthew here is one of our sourcing agents. He works with our Asian factories as well as our local manufacturers here in town to gather quotes, details, materials, components, you name it, when it comes to the manufacturing part of the development after we develop the product. This is a typical shop I work with. There's a number of shops in Kansas City that we work with. We do a number of fabrication processes of cutting plastics and metal and wood. And with any business, you need your accounting, your shipping, your receiving, your operations, your overall day-to-day management, your purchasing. And without Melody, I couldn't do any of this. She's definitely the core and the foundation to Artifact, that's for sure. One thing I would caution people about is if you have an idea and then you start a business with it, if you don't want to begin growing your business and working in your business and managing your business, then licensing might be a better route for you.
marketing is a really critical component of launching a new product to market, because the old adage, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though there are a lot of resources available to startups and entrepreneurs now that allow you to do a lot of things on your own, I really recommend that you do consult experts in their field, because there's so much value to having somebody that's been there and done that, that can shortcut things and make things actually less expensive in the long run.
Business climate here in Kansas City is excellent. There's a very diverse range of service providers and skills in many, many ranges of everything you need to run a business and start a business. It's big enough to where you've got a great number of companies to select and choose to work with. And when starting a new business, it's critical, I think, in being able to contract your required services out that you don't do real well to other individuals and companies. And that's really how we started here, even at Artifact, is contracting out certain key resources and individuals into these different fields. And we really have a team now, and each of the team changes depending on what product comes in that needs to be developed.
Kansas City is an excellent place to start a new business. It's amazing the amount of resources that we have here. I think a lot of people around the country don't realize not only are we centrally located, which helps in a lot of ways geographically, also the amount of technical support, the amount of product development support, the marketing resources, as well as the schools, the educational facilities, the foundations, any number of nonprofit organizations that help organizations get that early knowledge they need so that they don't stumble, but they launch to a success.
The main benefit, I think, of Kansas City growing as the most entrepreneurial city is the resources that we have. And honestly, I think we're all harder workers than anyone else in the entire nation. We have excellent work ethic. We care about what we're doing. We're excited about what we're doing. We care about one another. And we work hard to grow the community and grow our businesses, and we help support one another.
I think Kansas City is an excellent place to build a business.
This is reality TV that works. Startups made in Kansas City.
Well, it's great to be here. This is our first presentation at 1 Million Cups. I'm Parker, this is Dan. As he mentioned, we started Startup Weekend last year, and we're in the Think Big Accelerator now.
1 Million Cups is unique because it's the only weekly program that runs for entrepreneurs in Kansas City. The entire program is run by a team of entrepreneurs, and you have entrepreneurs presenting to an audience that is primarily made up of other entrepreneurs.
Oh, it's so exciting. We've gone from a handful of 20 or 30 Kauffman employees, now almost 200 plus.
From my own perspective, I only knew 5 local startups. And when we were trying to do 2 startups per week, we thought, well, this is either going to be a short-lived program or we're going to uncover a lot of new companies. In 2012, we showcased 70 local startups and had over 3,000 people come through the program.
Each week is more and more people. The phenomenal thing about it is the fact that it's not a tech meetup. It is actually a meetup of entrepreneurs.
The people you meet at 1 Million Cups really varies, and I think that's that's a factor of the richness of the community that we've built. It's tech startups, we've had furniture manufacturers, we've had food products, entrepreneurs of every stripe, investors, and really just people who are interested in being part of this community.
And so every week we're seeing a wide range of ages, a wide range of markets, and so every type of entrepreneur you can think of coming together in a room and supporting each other.
I looked at and I started talking to people in the Kansas City scene, and I connected with Herb and Tyler from Think Big. And I knew about Google Fiber and I knew about Kauffman. So I put all those pieces together and it became a no-brainer.
About last year, Nate Olson, who started 1 Million Cups, approached me about becoming involved. And I had attended 1 Million Cups several times and just found it to be exactly what Kansas City needed.
1 Million Cups started from a hypothesis that if we could get Kansas City's entrepreneurs to drink 1 million cups of coffee together, talking about their startups, their troubles, and also their successes, that we could fundamentally change the culture of entrepreneurship in Kansas City.
As an entrepreneur, I love Kansas City. I love being able to be in this community. The people here are great. To be able to walk into a room like this and just shake hands with the number of people that are here and the quality of people that are here.
One of the things that we saw that we were lacking in Kansas City was connections. There's a lot of people that have started extremely successful companies here in Kansas City. A lot of early stage entrepreneurs wanting to start companies in Kansas City. But what we lacked in the Midwest was the experience of how does a community come together?
It's vital to really create that communications link between established businesses and the startup community. Those large organizations, those established businesses in the area can provide a lot of mentorship to those of us just starting out and trying to build something from scratch. Certainly there are resources they have available to themselves that aren't always available on a startup budget. So being able to network with larger organizations, building those bridges between the startup community and the established business community is one of the real advantages to 1 Million Cups.
Her odds are pretty low that she's going to find the house she loves. So Lisa's decided to go out and use Kezio to really find the houses that she loves.
1 Million Cups started to weave a social fabric that's changing the way we talk about entrepreneurship in Kansas City. From what can those entrepreneurs do for me to what can I do for these entrepreneurs to help them be successful.
There's been a lot of groups that have tried to think and start different meetup groups, but never for a common cause of just how can we help each other. And so that conversation piece allowed us to say, you know what, just talk.
The importance of communication between entrepreneurs, that's huge. As an entrepreneur, typically, I feel like we're locked away in dungeons most of the time doing our work in quiet and in the dark. So the ability to get out and network with people around the community is huge.
Get together and talk about what you're doing, what's working, what's not. And the reality is that we're all having the same issues. We're all having the same problems in starting our companies or running our companies. We all have a product that we want people to buy. We all need staff and resources to build that product and sustain it. We all need to make money so that our families can eat. And then we all need to be able to use each other as a resource to come together and have those conversations of what do you need, how can I help, what's worked, what hasn't, and those conversations really help to solve a lot of those problems.
I presented back in November, and that presentation was great because I was able to actively ask questions to the audience and also get questions that I hadn't even thought of answered So even before I was running into problems that I would in the future see, they were already asking and helping answer those questions for me. So that interconnectivity has been really, really great and a huge benefit to the community here in Kansas City.
It's a safe place where entrepreneurs can come and test their ideas. They can learn from other entrepreneurs. And if you're in the audience and you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a serial entrepreneur, you're gonna walk away with something different. So I think everybody comes for different reasons, but really the primary reason is to support the local companies.
The value of having Kauffman as a resource has kind of evolved a little bit as a small business owner. And when we launched back in 2009, Kauffman was kind of this big organization, more of a think tank. And so kind of from our day-to-day, we didn't always see a lot of interaction. With the advent of 1 Million Cups and really tying it into the local Kansas City community, they become a vital link for community building.
Kauffman is the mecca of entrepreneurship in the world. We are the largest private foundation that focuses on entrepreneurship and education. So 1 Million Cups really focuses on community building, which is extremely important in starting new ventures, but the rest of my team is working at the forefront of entrepreneurial education, working on our community college initiative, working on a few global projects. So I am just one puzzle piece in a much larger puzzle in what my team is doing here at the Kauffman Foundation. So in November 2012, we launched our second location in Des Moines, Iowa. They've seen a lot of success there, and that really helped me validate the program. We are going to Houston in the coming weeks. We're going to St. Louis shortly after that, and then we're going to keep growing throughout the year to try and end this time next year with 20 cities running this program on a weekly basis.
The idea of 1 Million Cups of Coffee changing the landscape of entrepreneurship is pretty awesome. Thanks a bunch, everybody, for coming. Keep spreading the word. This is so great. Thanks.
This is reality TV that works. Startups made in Kansas City.
My name is Marcia Martin. I'm the founder of 5B & Company Candle Makers. We started making candles in 1993 when my children were babies. I wanted to supplement our income at home. I started with my sister, and I opened my store in Weston in about 1997. When I first started, believe it or not, 1993, the internet wasn't widely available at all, and candle makers are very, very secretive. So I had to basically just trial and error, 100% trial and error. There's so many different things in candle making that affect other things, your temperature, the wax you're using, the fragrance oils you're using. And so it was just completely almost a God thing. When I needed something, it would appear, and it was definitely a journey, and that's how I knew it was my purpose. I started in my garage, and by the time it was about time for my daughter to start kindergarten, I knew that I wanted to open a storefront. And I was actually having breakfast at the cafe in Weston, Missouri, and I looked across the street, and I told my then husband, that's my building right there. And within 6 months, I was in that building with a store. It's actually the same building that Three Dog Bakery started in way back in the day. But in the process of learning and growing, I moved to a much bigger store and never felt cozy, never felt at home, never felt like it was the place I was supposed to be. So now we're back in our little store again, and I feel really good there, like that's the place for us. The way we came up with the name for 5B & Company is we started out as 2 blessings, which counts for my sister and I's children. And as we had blessings, we kept changing the name to 3 blessings, 4 blessings, 5 blessings. But when we decided to franchise, I had to trademark my name, and there was already a Blessings Candles that had been trademarked, so we changed our name to 5B & Company. I had started thinking about franchising mainly because of the building we started in, Three Dog Bakery, and I was thinking, well, how did they do that? And I talked to those guys and kind of got a little bit of the feel of how they did that. And so I started kind of just putting out there and, hey, if someone wants to franchise, send them to me, God, just send them my way.
Hi, I'm Lori Woods, and I'm the owner of 5B & Company Candle Makers in Brookside. I franchised this business in 2003 from Marcia up in Weston, and it has been great joy ever since I've done it.
And it was Apple Fest one year, probably 12 years ago, that Lori came in and she was buying candles, and she forgot to pay me.
I got my candles, I left without paying. So I remember walking down the street thinking, no, wait a minute, I still have this money in my purse, no, what's going on? And so I went back and just flat out said, I didn't pay for my candles.
And Apple Fest is crazy in Weston. There's 10,000 people in a town of 1,500. So she forgot to pay me. She went to her car, walked all the way back to tell me, hey, I forgot to pay you. And I said, you're so honest, you should be my first franchise. And we started emailing, and the rest is history. I didn't have a big business loan. I didn't have the type of thing where I went into debt to start. I literally started my store with $1,500. I bought a big harvest table that I found at an auction, as well as another piece, and started making candles. And in hindsight, had I had an unlimited budget, had I had a ton of money, I probably would have failed in a lot of things that I would have brought into the store. I might have brought some lines in that may not have done well, or might have spent a lot of money at market that I didn't need, or just, you know, a ton of things that, don't you agree, Lori? It's just kind of...
Yeah, I look back at photographs of our shop, and you know, I'm almost embarrassed to look at them now because my shelves were empty. And I remember Marcia just kept saying, you know, just open the doors, just open the doors, it will come, it will come. And it did. I mean, slowly, you know, I've added things over the years and, you know, changed my shelving here and there, but you kind of...
You have to get a feel of who you're selling to, and what it is that you truly, you know, we honestly don't carry anything that we don't love ourselves.
I really came into this with no business background or experience other than selling Kool-Aid on my driveway, cookies to my neighbors, that sort of thing. I used to teach elementary school, and just felt like that I wanted a little bit of a change in my path. And when I met Marcia, it was just a no-brainer.
Failure never occurred to me. It honestly never did. People asked me, weren't you afraid? Weren't you scared? And it truly, I believed in our product. I believed in our customer service. I believed in our scents. I believed in our candles. I believed there wasn't a reason to be afraid. There wasn't a reason to worry. And things have gotten tight in this economy, and the business has changed so much. But if you're doing what you love, it doesn't matter. Some of the changes throughout the years that I've noticed is, you know, the integrity of the wax that you're buying. You really need to know what you're buying and be on top of the quality. It's a constant struggle between, we've sent wax back that hasn't been up to our standards, and we definitely aren't mass produced. And I definitely, every time we pour a little candle, we want it perfect. We want it to burn right, we want it to smell right. Fragrance oils, we used to be able to buy them maybe 2 pounds at a time, and now we have to buy them 25 pounds at a time. So it's a much bigger commitment to make our Clean Undies candles because we've got 25 pounds of that fragrance.
When naming some of our candles, it's kind of fun because, first of all, we may come up with a scent we really enjoy, and then we need to come up with a name for it. And other times we've got the perfect name, and then we're like, oh man, what scent are we going to do? The name of the candle can be really important because we've had things that have failed. We'll name it something and it just totally bombs. People don't get it. They're not sure, you know, maybe why we called it that, what the fragrance is, what the name has to do with it. And we change the name, and bam, it's a bestseller.
Scents can conjure up such emotions. It can immediately take your mind where you weren't even. I was pouring a scent called White Mountain Sage, and as I was pouring it, my mind immediately went to my Aunt Earl's funeral. I was in the 6th grade. I was digging in my mom's purse for a piece of gum, and it smelled just like the bottom of my mom's purse. And so that's the name, the bottom of Mom's Purse. And what's funny is it doesn't matter what gender you are, what age you are, what background you have, everybody that smells that candle, every human being goes, smells like my mom's purse.
Yeah, I mean, there's times that maybe business is tight, but you plow through and just pour your heart and soul into the business, and we really enjoy what we do. We love making candles. There's not a day where I think, oh, I gotta make the candles. I mean, we really enjoy what we do.
You can buy a candle anywhere. You can buy a mass-produced candle, but we truly care about the people that are buying them from us.
A co-production of KCPT and Outpost Worldwide. At home in Kansas City. Production, post, content.